KU. I'm Gabby Gomez.
And I'm Shane Martin.
So the big story over the weekend is that there's actually more hurricanes popping up in the Atlantic. Have you heard of
Yes. I mean, I'm a meteorology major, so.
Yeah. So Hurricane Jose is still there, and it has strengthened just a little bit and probably will continue to strengthen, but it's probably not going to impact the United States in any way.
I think the only impacts we're going to get from Hurricane Jose anymore are just some swells off of the East Coast and high winds and giant nor'easter out in the ocean is more or less than a hurricane.
But the new one that has popped up is called Hurricane Maria, and actually just became a hurricane like a day or two ago, I think.
Yes, sometime over the weekend.
Strengthening. I think right now it's moving west and northwest at 12 miles an hour, so not that fast, but it's a Category 2 as of right now.
Yeah, it is a Category 2 on the Safari-Simpson. And the big thing with Hurricane Maria is that it is going to take an almost identical path to Hurricane Irma and go over the same areas that are already devastated and still trying to recover. It's just not a good situation on there. It's expected to become a major hurricane by the time it goes over the Lesser Antilles. I think it's supposed to go over Puerto Rico too, if I'm not mistaken.
Puerto Rico, Dominica, I know is a big thing as well. Just I'm basically the same path, so all of those places that have already been like hit hard are going to get hit hard again unless it changes path. It's too early to know right now, so I'm sure we'll be updated as well with that.
Yeah.
I've actually had a lot of people ask me the difference between a tornado and a hurricane. I don't know if you want to explain that.
Okay, so the major differences between tornadoes and hurricanes is with a hurricane, you can see them coming from thousands of miles across the ocean. We have satellites, buoys, all the fancy toys to pick them up. Tornadoes, we can forecast them that they're going to happen, but we don't really know when they're going to happen until just a few minutes before. We wait for the storm to form within an hour, and then you might have a tornado. And we don't know which thunderstorms are going to produce tornadoes and which don't yet.
Yeah, it's more of a last-minute thing because hurricanes usually have that storm already produced, and it doesn't need much to keep it going. It just keeps going. Whereas tornadoes, you have the storms, and those storms could just pop up out of nowhere, and then next thing you know, there's a tornado on the ground. So it's kind of hit or miss with those. But yeah, the wind.
Yeah, and another difference is how fast they move. I know hurricanes, what I've learned in class, the upper level winds, which are not really good for hurricanes if they're too strong, can rip them apart, but they also move at half the speed, whereas with tornadoes, you have winds coming from all different directions called shear, and if you don't have that, you can't really have tornadoes. And that's one of the reasons why tornadoes move at upwards of 30 to 50 miles an hour, whereas hurricanes only do, what, 10 to 15 on average?
Yeah, I mean, Maria's only moving at 12, so it just depends, and it's...
I'm glad we're here in Kansas, so we don't have to worry about hurricanes. I think the most that we ever get are the cloud cover from them once they move on land. Yeah,
we'll get some cloud cover, maybe some rain if it makes it this far, and that's usually about it. I mean, they don't really affect us here. Because the thing about hurricanes is it's the warmer, like, water temperatures that, like, feed into the hurricane. Yeah. And then with tornadoes, it's the opposite. So once the hurricane hits land, it's no longer has the fuel it needs.
Fuel, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think that's it for right now.
Yeah.
After the break, we'll be back with Shane for an interview.
Where you go to college makes a statement about you. This place will become a part of you, your identity for life. The University of Kansas. A great place to be you.
Welcome back. I am Shane Martin. I'm here with Malik that has a new show on Wednesday mornings called Wake Up Call at 9 a.m. Can you tell me a little bit more about this show, why you wanted to do it in the first place?
Well, it's a morning show, obviously, at 9 a.m., Wake Up Call. It's like a mixture of Good Morning America and CBS This Morning, where like CBS This Morning has that like hard-hitting news, but you can kind of turn on Good Morning America to get the lighthearted, fun stuff. So it's a mixture of that where we want to report the news. We're journalists. We're going to get down, get the news to you. But also we like to have fun. So, incorporate that fun and news thing into one broadcast, and that's when you get Wake Up Call. We kind of wanted to do it because we were both, this is what we want to do when we grow up, have our own show someday. And so as much preparation as we can have, practice when we're still working on other shows throughout the J School only helps us. And so this will just be a great opportunity while we're both sophomores, so we're still young. Yeah. And hopefully this is something we can continue for the rest of the semesters that we are here in Lawrence.
Oh yeah, that sounds fun. Now, why is it so early in the morning, 9 o'clock?
Interestingly enough, I'm not a morning person. That's the funniest part about this. I'm not a morning person. It takes me about 30 minutes after my alarm goes off for me to, get with it. But it's hard. But it's a morning show because we're gonna do an afternoon show, but we're like, it's kind of basic. If you turn on the TV at 1 o'clock, you'll see 10 different shows reporting. But in the morning, there's those, about 9 shows that that you turn on and you see. So it's a smaller area, more room to sort of shine in it all. And then it fits into both of our schedules, our school schedule. That also kind of matters too. And a morning show, why not? Wake everyone up, put these beautiful smiles on people's faces. Why not?
Yeah, why not? You said you were a sophomore at the university, and we were talking earlier, and we went to the same high school together.
We did.
I graduated in 13. When did you graduate?
2016. So you're quite a bit older than me, Shane.
Yeah. I did 2 years of junior college before I came here, so I'm still going through the ranks.
Oh, yeah. But no, we did go to the same high school. I tell people all the time that Olathe East High School is the best high school in Kansas. I've searched high and low, and even in between. I just cannot find one that's better. Got the best teachers, best athletics. We've won a state championship 23 years in a row since the school opened.
Yeah.
Nothing's better than Olathe.
It's not.
And look what they produce, guys. Come on.
And you stay together after you graduate. You always find graduates.
Exactly.
Do you have anything else that you would like to add?
No, besides this Wednesday, 9 a.m., right? You can watch it on Channel 31 in Lawrence. You can go to journalism.ku.edu/crossroads. Check us out Wednesdays, 9 a.m., every Wednesday from now on, and it'll be fun. Something to watch, definitely.
Thank you for joining us, Malik. Again, Malik with Wake Up Call at 9 a.m. on Wednesday mornings. We'll be back with more news after this.
Olivia.
And I'm Austin. This is your Monday Good Morning KU update. Violence in St. Louis continued for the 3rd straight night as police made multiple arrests on Sunday evening. Protests began after a judge dismissed the case of a white former police officer accused of killing a black suspect. More than 1,000 protesters marched downtown on Sunday afternoon, but after dark, those remaining turned to violence and destruction of local property.
Just as residents are recovering from the effects of Hurricane Irma, the next 3 storms are bearing down on the Caribbean Sea. Hurricane Maria is expected to become Category 4 as it approaches Puerto Rico this week. The other 2, Jose and Lee, are not expected to make landfall, although Jose may cause dangerous surf and rip currents along the East Coast.
President Trump will meet with multiple world leaders this week at the United Nations General Assembly in New York. On Tuesday, Trump will give a speech to the entire assembly and is expected to discuss climate change, refugee policy, and North Korea. Trump has often criticized the United Nations, so the world will be watching closely this week.
The KU Office of Student Community Standards will be giving away free hot dogs and free water bottles this week to publicize National Hazing Prevention Week. On Tuesday and Thursday, it will be free hot dogs on Wesco Beach from 1 to 11, and on Wednesday, it will be free water bottles at the Rec Center from 4 to 6.
Lawrence voters will soon have the opportunity to decide how much money will support low-income housing. In November, voters will decide whether a 0.05% sales tax will provide about $1 million to the city's housing trust fund. According to the latest census results, 3 out of every 10 homes in Lawrence are not affordable.
Open water swimming isn't the most well-known sport, but the Kansas women captured the national championship this weekend at Lone Star Lake. Freshman Lauren Parrish finished in 4th place, and teammates Jenny Nussbaum and Haley Bishop finished 5th and 9th, respectively, to lead the Jayhawks to the team title. The 5,000-meter course took the top swimmers just over an hour to finish.
The football team, however, did not fare as well. The Jayhawks lost 42-30 to Ohio University on Saturday, extending their road game losing streak to 42 consecutive games. Things won't get any easier this week as KU will begin its Big 12 schedule at home against West Virginia.
And that will wrap it up for today's news update. Stay tuned and Gabby will be back with the weather.
Some say e-cigarettes aren't dangerous,
but science shows nicotine can harm teens' developing brains.
no matter how they're exposed.
Let's do an experiment to find out.
Here's a teen who won't be using e-cigarettes.
Now we need one willing to risk their brain development.
Care to volunteer your kid?
Hi and welcome back to Good Morning KU. I'm Gabby Gomez with your weather forecast. Currently right now it's only about 67 degrees, not too warm. I'm sure some of you have already noticed it's kind of dark outside. So right now we have some storms moving in from the southwest to the northeast. They're getting around Lawrence probably right about now. This was should be updated, but yeah, we'll be getting some storms right around now and throughout the day. The high today will be 80 though, around 80, which is basically average for this time of year, so nothing out of the ordinary or not normal. Tonight we will get to 64, scattered thunderstorms, so be on the lookout for those as well if you have some plans later on. Tomorrow it'll clear out, so beware of these higher temperatures. It will be about 90 degrees or so. Won't really have to worry about any rain tomorrow. And then as we go on throughout the week, Thursday we'll get up to 90 and there will be some chances of storms in the morning. Friday we'll get to 88 and then 85 on Saturday for the football game against West Virginia. That is all I have for today. I hope you guys enjoyed. Be sure to go to Wesco Beach on Tuesday and Thursday for the hot dogs, and we will see you guys next week.